My wife left me. That's how it started. So that's how it started. Like, yeah, man, my wife left me. That's how it started. Hey guys, how are you? This is Connor with ThrivingMinimalist.com. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I request of you to post in the comments if you have video ideas or things you want to hear me talk about. And I had a lot of requests recently just asking for my story, my journey into a minimalist lifestyle. And I would absolutely love to share that with you. So thank you for asking. It all started, I would say, about 3 years ago, and a lot started about 3 years ago. I used to be married, I used to own a house, I used to own a rental property, I used to work a 60 to 80 hour job that was running my own business. I used to own a lot of stuff. I used to have a lot of stuff. I used to have a lot of debt. I used to have a bigger income. I used to have a couple phones. I used to have a dog. Used to have a couple cats. And pretty much all of that stuff is not in my life anymore. And it all happened because my wife didn't want to be in a partnership with me anymore. So it was kind of sad. You know, I mean, it was horribly sad. In fact, it was like tragic beyond tragic at the time. I really thought like I was going to die. I really felt like I was going to die. And the reasons that she didn't want to be in a partnership anymore were a lot her own, but they were really good reasons. And she's one of my best friends in the whole world, and we have never held disdain for one another at any time of our lives. We had a very long, loving, beautiful relationship. And when it ended, it made sense that it ended. It made sense. I had been undeveloped in myself because I wasn't taking time for myself, and I would drink an awful lot every day, and I would work way too much every day. So when you do those two things, you don't have much more to give to other people. And although I loved her immensely, there just wasn't enough energy for one another. And there were things in her life, in her emotional life, that she needed to take care of and really couldn't do it in a partnership that we had. So now that we are separated, we are both like full people or fuller people, discovering ourselves, and we have come together as friends, and we have renewed and kept a very beautiful love. So it was tragic though at the time. It was like I died. It was like murder. It was like someone just ripped my heart out. It was my biggest fear in life had come true. And we had been together 12 years, so since we were 16, that's some serious like growing together stuff, 16 to 28. So when it happened, I just like exploded for a few months, and I couldn't really do much. So I just took care of myself the best way I knew how, which was to drink. So I drank, and I drank more, and you know, you can only really do that for so long. At some point, there was this moment of like, dude, you got two options. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can do something like totally different. Like it's like the reverse. And it took me a little while to get the reverse idea into my mind and to believe that I could, that I had the power to do the reverse, to actually change my life. Yeah, it took me like another couple of weeks. And then one day I was like ready to do it. And I did it. So what that meant at the time was actually changing my diet. And I went from eating like a standard American diet to an all raw food, plant-based diet overnight. I stopped drinking like on my third day. I stopped drinking caffeine and stopped smoking cigarettes the next day. I stopped smoking 7 days in. That was the hardest one for me. Caffeine was the next day, and all cooked foods. Went 100% plant-based that first day. Third or fourth day in, I quit drinking. On the seventh day, I quit smoking. So obviously, just right there, huge life changes. And it was interesting because at the time, that was my focus. It was just like, okay, if I can just like change what I'm eating, I'll change my life. And kind of, that was true. Like I needed to start somewhere. That's where I started. eventually that unfolded and became more of like a getting to know myself, getting to understand who I am, developing more self-love. And the minimalism aspect was never on my mind, but it was happening. It was happening. I changed my job. I moved into my garage, actually, and rented out my house portion because I just didn't need it. I wanted to cut down. I wanted to save money. I could sleep on the floor, no problem. I didn't feel like I needed insulation. It was totally bonkers. Like it was the opposite of what I had been doing. So it wasn't that I had minimalism or simple living on my mind as I'm going to do this, but it just unfolded within the this trying out self-love. I think it was a way to get to know myself better, was to reduce clutter, to let go of things that weren't serving me anymore. And that's what simple living and minimalism is all about. It's not just about reducing stuff. I mean, there is like a benefit to that financially, economically, environmentally. But what it really is there for is to provide you more space and energy to get to know you. Because you are so freaking important. You are the most important thing in this world. And a lot of us don't feel that way. And I know where I was at 3 years ago, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way at all. And I needed to change a lot of different things to develop that self-love, to start really living by that truth that, hey, I'm pretty important. I'm pretty cool. I'm alive. I love myself. And then to just go from there and say, like, let's just get crazier and let's just get weirder and let's keep loving ourselves even more. So that's how it started. Like, my wife left me. That's how it started. And from there, I started eating raw foods. That helped clean out my body, started cleaning out my mind. I quit drinking, which was a big deal because I had been drinking very heavily for about 10 years. I quit my job. I got rid of stuff, including my house. And I moved from Massachusetts back to California. I started allowing myself to be able to move around, started giving myself that freedom. And throughout it all, developed self-love, self-knowledge, learned how to observe myself, and started following my passion, discovering my passion, following my passions. So that's how it went. And it's so cool to be able to share this with you and to reflect on it all. Like 3 years ago, I couldn't tell this story with a smile on my face. And I don't take it lightly. I am smiling, laughing about it, but it is true. Like, I was in a tough spot a few years ago. But this is great because, like, I feel really good about where I'm at these days. And I know, and I say this a lot, but, like, you don't have to live the life I'm living right now. The point is for me to share that I was in a spot I didn't want to be in, and now I'm exactly where I want to be. And I believe that's there for you. I believe it's there for that guy, and that lady over there, and those people that I can't see. I think it's really there for all of us. And I think the biggest thing is learning to love ourselves. So how can you love yourself a little more? Maybe it's as simple as not buying a new car. I don't know. Maybe it's more complex than that. But there are little steps that we can all take today to make that happen. I think minimalism, simple living, it really allows us more freedom to explore ourselves and to get to know ourselves in a compassionate way, to learn to love ourselves, figure out what we're all about. So thanks for asking the question. Thanks for letting me kind of like share in a rambly, kind of like, disjointed way. It felt good to share, and much love to you. Got a lot of love for you, even though I don't know you. And I hope this video was inspiring, motivating. You got any other video ideas? Post below. You like the video? Press the like button. You want to see more? Go to thrivingminimalist.com. Send me a personal message. Take care of yourselves. Bye.